Biden gives Oval Office address after assassination attempt as it happened. The attack, which is being investigated as an attempted assassination and a potential act of domestic terrorism, left Trump injured at the ear, but it killed a spectator, identified as a former fire chief, and critically injured 2 others. We must not go down this road in America, Biden added, citing a rising tide of political violence that included the assault on the U.S. Capitol, the attack on the husband of the former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and a kidnapping plot against Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of. Biden also praised Corey Comperatore, the 50-year-old former fire chief who was killed as he dove to shield his wife and daughter, said was a hero, and extended his deepest condolences to his family. Investigators were still searching for the motive of the 20-year-old suspect, identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. More than 24 hours after the attack, the investigation into how Crooks managed to open fire, reportedly using an AR-15 bought legally by his father, at the rally remained fluid. Investigators have seized several of Crooks's devices and are starting to piece together his communications before the event. Author Joe Biden on Sunday forcefully condemned political violence that appealed to a nation still reeling from the attempted assassination of Donald Trump to reject extremism and fury. In a primetime address from the Oval Office, Biden said Americans must strive for national unity, warning that the political rhetoric in the U.S. had gotten too heated as passions rise in the final months before the November presidential election. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence, ever, period. No exception, the president said. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. Biden's plea for Americans to cool it down came as Trump said that he would use his speech at the Republican National Convention to bring the whole country, even the whole world, together. The speech will be a lot different than it would have been 2 days ago, Trump told the Washington Examiner, adding that the reality of what had happened was just setting in. Biden ordered an independent review into how a gunman was able to get onto a roof overlooking a Trump campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, and fired multiple shots at the former president from an elevated position outside of the venue. The warned on Sunday that online threats of political violence, already heightened, had spiked since the shooting. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has spoken with Trump. The Prime Minister condemned yesterday's appalling assassination attempt and reiterated there's no place for political violence. The Prime Minister wished the former president well and offered condolences to the shooting victims and to the family of Corey Comperatore, Trudeau's office said in a statement. Trump could use his appearance at the to announce who he has chosen as his pick for vice president. Here is what the 3 most likely candidates have said in response to the shooting. Florida Senator Marco Rubio said, God protected Donald Trump. Senator for Ohio, Jay Higgins, said today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. There is no evidence that what Vance said is true. The early details that have emerged about Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was shot dead by law enforcement, showed a young man working an entry-level job near his hometown in Pennsylvania, where he graduated from high school in 2022 with the reputation as a bright but quiet classmate. His high school counselor described him as respectful and said he never knew Crooks to be political. They said on Sunday that Crooks' social media profile does not contain threatening language, nor have they found any history of mental health issues. They said he acted alone and have not identified a motive. What is unique about Crooks when compared to other recent shooters who opened fire at schools, churches, malls, and parades is that he came within inches of killing a presidential candidate. On Saturday afternoon, Crooks slipped onto a rooftop location 150 yards 140 meters from the stage where Trump was speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania. He then began firing an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle purchased by his father, officials said. A resident of Bethel Park, about an hour away from where the shooting occurred, Crooks was a registered Republican who would have been eligible to cast his first presidential vote in the 5 November election in which Trump is challenging President Joe Biden. Public records show his father is a registered Republican and his mother a registered